This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Jeanette Bronée. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I am very good. Thank you so much. I'm staying nice and warm inside while we have a snowstorm outside.
Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. What part of the world are you in right now?
I'm in upstate New York in the Catskills.
All right. I just got off a conversation, the episode before you, with someone in New York. She spoke about the weather as well. Ooh, I'm sorry that you guys are going through that, really. It wouldn't be right if I didn't offer you the same thing I offered her, which is in my email box, there is a draft mail saved there with Caribbean Sunshine. I can send it as soon as you request it.
I would appreciate that. I can put it on my screen for a snowy day.
Well, Jeanette, do tell me, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at a specific time in history?
I think it's the talent of understanding and connecting with people about what drives them from the inside out. I really love helping people see their own talents and connect with what it is that their needs are that helps them perform at their best, work at their best, live at their best, really see their preciousness and that they matter.
It sounds like insightfulness. Who did you learn that from?
Oh, I think it started as when I was a kid, really. My dad would sit at night and interview people. He was an entrepreneur. He was at the time we called it headhunter, but that's not the right word for it anymore. Executive search. And he would interview people, and I would love to sit and listen to him talk to people. And he had very insightful conversations with them. And I know he changed people's lives just by having these conversations, because when he was dying, people would send him emails thanking him for the conversations because they changed his life or their lives. And so I think already then I learned how to listen to people and what their inner desires and dreams and hopes were, and helping them see how they could make choices that would help those things manifest. I don't believe in just manifesting based on thinking positively. I believe in manifesting by doing the work and putting effort into it. And so I think I've always looked for how we can help people see themselves in a different light. And also my mother, when I was growing up, was struggling and suffering with mental illness. And it was my job to make her happy. And obviously, you can't make another person happy, but you can see their own, values, and you can help them see their own qualities. And I think I learned at an early age to turn the spotlight back on people to see themselves in that light. And for the past 15 years, after my parents died, that's what I chose to do. I didn't really know that that's what I chose to do, but I chose to coach people and counsel them in terms of taking charge of their health. And what I realized was that our emotional and mental health was often what would get in the way of taking care of our physical health.
I remember one person that was doing a coaching course that I had a conversation with, and she was expressing how necessary it is to be careful with the question that starts with why. I see that you've trademarked the right why. Please explain that to me.
Oh, I love that. I love this idea of how we talk to ourselves, our self-talk, and how we ask ourselves questions. And one of the things I did also to learn more about who we are as human beings is I both studied what's called felt sense focusing, because I noticed that we make choices based on how we feel and how we want to feel. And so I thought that was really interesting. And I also studied hypnotherapy because I really love how the unconscious mind creates our life and our reality, and we're not even realizing it. And so part of that is when we ask, why aren't you doing this? Why is this not working? And that's how we tend to talk to ourselves. Like, I don't understand. Why am I not getting this done? Why is this not working for me? Why does this person not like me? We keep asking for the why nots. And we keep living in this world of why nots, which means that we're looking for what's not working. We're looking for, well, you can call it the negative, but you can also call it our natural survival instinct is to look for what's not working or what is out of norm. And so in our modern life, instead of looking for danger, what we're looking for is what's not working. And if we ask the right why, we instead say, okay, I notice that this is not working. Now, what is it I'm trying to achieve? Why does it matter to me? Why am I doing this? Like, what is it that I really want? And now we can then ask, how can I do that? Now we're going into a different relationship with the why because we're focusing on why it matters. And now we can put our unconscious mind to work because we can say, I really would like this to happen. I don't know how, but I'd like to figure out how. And now we can sort of indirectly put our unconscious mind to work by asking, how can I figure this out? How can I do this? And I think we need to know why it matters before we can do that. Because that's how we, because that's how we keep being curious.
Yeah, I think a coach is required for what you're speaking about because it's a fine line, isn't it? Where you can switch into depression versus action to be better. It's a fine line, and I think definitely. Where's the best place for someone that's listening to connect with you?
You can find me both on Path for Life, which is the company that I founded back in 2004 after my parents died, and I wanted to help people. And it has resources, it has articles, and it's a way to reach me. And then also for my company culture coaching and public speaking, I can be found at JeanetteBronée.com. And also, online in general under Path for Life or under Jeanette Bronée.
I love how you say your name. It sounded so much better when you said it. Jeanette Bronée. Yeah, well, definitely, I did not have the opportunity to check out your TEDx talk, but I look forward to digging into that and see how that comes about. All right, Jeanette, let's switch gears for a moment. Now, let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Jeanette, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Now that you're saying water, it was probably when I nearly drowned.
How old were you?
Yeah, I think I was about probably 5. I don't know that really is my earliest memory, but I have a lot of memories that I've also seen in photographs. So sometimes you don't know if it's because of that you have that memory. But this is a memory that I know has really imprinted something in me because I almost died. I remember that everything went dark. I remember seeing my hands in front of me trying to grab for grass to get me out. I had fallen into like a small river. And I also remember seeing that my friend ran away instead of helping me. And all of a sudden I got pulled out of the water by someone and I got walked home by the neighbor who heard me scream and came home to my mother. And her reaction, this is the real piece, her reaction was that she was so scared of what had happened. However, her reaction was anger. And I remember feeling so disconnected from what I really needed in that moment, which was to feel safe. Because I wasn't really sure what had happened and I was just trying to find my way. And I think that was part of how I then started navigating, and a lot of what I do today as well, is to understand our really deep, deep need for feeling safe.
How would you apply the right why there?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think the right why helps us help look for how to find the solution to what it is we need and really understand what it is we're looking for. One of them, for example, being, I'm trying to feel safe right now. So, for example, a lot of times people will, when they feel uncomfortable or unsafe, they will try to numb out the feeling instead of actually becoming more curious about the feeling and asking, why am I feeling unsafe right now? I wonder what it is I'm really looking for here. I'm looking for somebody to acknowledge that it's okay how I feel, or I'm looking for somebody to invite me in, or so that we actually look at it a little bit more mindfully is maybe the wrong word because it seems a little fluffy, but we have a conscious conversation with ourselves that is curious. Yeah, yes, that is more about curiosity, right? More about curiosity about why we're looking for this solution. And so I think in the sense of feeling safe, when we go into the why nots, I think we actually feel more unsafe because we're beating ourselves up.
How would it work for your mother in her particular situation if we switched roles?
That was one of the things that I had to, and so this actually is something I've learned that I was doing from a really early age, because I would always try to help her shift her mind about what was going on. She would always look back and regret. And she would always have this conversation about not being good enough, not being wanted, and why something wasn't working or happening. And I would always try to make her look for what she could do about it. And so I think even at an early age, I would try to focus on what was within my power, what was within her power to do. And I think when we feel that we're in control of something, it's because we know that we can do something about it, like we have tools, and that is what makes us feel safer.
Well said. Jeanette, I had fun with that. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate it. I understand it so much more now. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
I love, there's a Danish folk singer who actually only died recently in his 70s, and his name was Larson, and his band was Gasoline, and he had these sort of like rock and roll folk songs, and I think he was my favorite. He was my first concert. I remember that. He was my first concert. So he had a couple of songs that were a little bit sort of about life in general, but looking at it from a fun perspective. And one of the songs I loved the most was about being able to dream.
Love it. All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Sure. Yes.
Have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I hope I do every day pass my skills on to someone.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Do you have children?
No, I don't. A dog.
So, okay,
Does
there we go. Definitely counts. Definitely counts. Do you believe in God?
Yes and no.
Do you have
an ambivalent relationship?
Oh, there we go. There we go. Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I do.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No, I do not.
How about 3 hours a week?
If movies count, yes.
All right. What about screen time? The phone and or the computer. Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Less than 8.
If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Jeanette Bronée, what would you say that is?
I believe in the good in all of us.
Love it. Jeanette, this was such a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
To remember that we all matter and we all have values and qualities. It's not about what we do, it's about who we are.
Jeanette, again, such a great pleasure. Thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Could you say your name one last time for us, please?
Jeanette Bronée.
Oh, my, Jeanette Bronée. All right, my friend.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.